Hi everybody, it's Craig here. Monday the 11th of February, I'm in a hotel room and I had a lot of nice options for dinner tonight. I'm in an area where I could have walked to get some nice Thai food or some nice Mexican food, nice Italian restaurant nearby too, a lot of global cuisine. And with all those options in front of me and with a really lovely, nice weather, very nice weather this afternoon, um, I eventually was thinking about different appetite options, and I decided on a big bag of M&Ms and a packet of chips for dinner. And instead of going for a walk through the park or down by the waterfront, I stayed in the hotel room. So successful evening. And instead of spending the evening writing, which I intended to do, I watched old reruns of comedy programs. So it's just been a real whirlwind of progress and healthy options all round. That being said, I've been up since very early this morning on a train, and I rode the entire time on the train this morning. So over 2 hours of the train and then on a half-hour taxi ride, and I scripted out an entire new way for the third monologue to go that I'm really happy with. So rather than it just trying to repurpose the prose that I wrote for the first version of Beach Surgery, it's instead making it much more thematically consistent with the first two monologues of the novel. That is, there are particular components that it involves that are of particular topics, and I'm weaving the beach surgery prose in and out of that. Whether it's going to work or not, I'm not sure. I wrote the first component of the monologue on the train and in the taxi, and I like it. I'm a little concerned it's a bit too a bit too teenage angst, existential in its philosophical conclusions, but then those are the same conclusions that I still have at 35. So I've got to be true to that. And the thing is, the breakthrough that I had was actually yesterday morning when I was going for a walk with my dog, and I realised that I needed to address the reason that I would write a novel like A Complicated Surgery Will Take Place on the Beach Tonight. And the answer was that I was exploring the way that adults entertain themselves while they're alive, which is the core philosophical question that I have always posed to myself since I was very young. I can remember when I was about 11 years old, and I had started to staple some paper together and wrote a book called All About How to Live, which was not precocious at all. And I mentioned this in what I wrote this morning. I think I need to expand upon this particular story because it was more interesting than I wrote the way that I wrote it. But I remember being around, I think I must have been around 18 years of age, and I had some friends coming around, and I thought, you know what would be a really good use of our time is to sit down with some butcher's paper, maybe like a flip board, I think is actually what I was thinking. Have a big flip board, and we'll just write down different options for how we want to access entertainment for ourselves, instead of just sitting around and talking and listening to music and So I thought, what is the most entertaining things we can do to give our lives more meaning than they had, which again, just ridiculous things to focus on, but I still think it's the most important thing is, well, what are we doing, every day, and to talk about the what's the word I'm trying to think of? Maybe if I had have had some food other than chocolate and chips. The privilege. It comes from a very privileged position to be able to even ask questions about what am I doing? Like, how can I question the way that we spend our time and the sort of facile entertainment that we engage with in order to get us through each day, when there's some people who don't have the privilege to be able to question that, and they are just metal on metal in terms of not having a buffer there. It's just about survival and getting through. But I still think at the heart of it, at the heart of every life, there's a question about what content you provide yourself or expose yourself to in order to have enough, enough fluid to liquefy the gears and help them flow and to keep a life going forward. So that's the sort of stuff that I've been interested in, and that's ultimately what the novel is about. And it's what the initial novel was about, and it's about what this novel is even more about in terms of a meta-analysis of what that stuff means. So that's what I need to write to. I'm pretty happy with what I wrote this morning, but I think it needs improving. But more than that, I'm interested to see how I work out the actual beach surgery prose sections, because I'm going to rewrite them. I'm not going to just repurpose the text like I've been trying to do the past couple of days. I need to write it in a much more outlined fashion, and I need to do so in about 400 words a piece. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and certainly on the train ride home tomorrow, I'm sure I'll have time. If I can wake up in the morning early enough, I'll try to write some here as well in the morning. I would have liked to have written some this afternoon, but I'm wondering if I was just a bit too tired, and that's why I chose to eat chocolate and watch comedy instead, because I did have an early start to the day, and I did empty my head this morning too, so just need to recharge overnight and get back into it. I think that's probably it. I'll see if I can upload this video on mobile data, and I'll see you tomorrow. Might be the same hotel room, might be after I've got off no, I won't do it after I get off the train tomorrow night. That'll be very late. We'll do it in this hotel room again tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. Have a good night.